The war before the day. Most mornings don't begin peacefully. They begin with a quiet tension, a low hum of restlessness that you barely notice. Until it owns you. The mind starts moving before the body does. Plans, fears, old memories, and future worries all rush in at once. By the time you sit up, you're already exhausted. But here's what the Stoics understood that most people don't. That chaos is not coming from the day ahead. It is coming from how you meet the day, and that meeting, that first response can be trained. The silent window of opportunity. Between sleep and full wakefulness, there is a small silent window. In that window, the world has not yet demanded anything from you. No calls, no messages, no obligations. In that window, you have a choice. Not a loud choice shouted by stress. A quiet choice whispered by awareness. Will you let your mind run wild, grabbing every thought like a panicked dog chasing every car? Or will you sit still and simply watch which thoughts deserve your energy? This is not meditation jargon. This is practical Stoicism. The race before the first step. Notice what happens most mornings. Even before your feet touch the floor, the mental race begins. What time is it? Did I miss something? What do I have to do today? Did that person reply? What if this goes wrong? Thoughts attack like a crowd of beggars, each demanding attention. And without realizing it, you say yes to all of them. By the time you stand up, your nervous system is already in fight or flight mode. And the day hasn't even started. The problem is not the day. The problem is that you surrendered before the battle began. Calm is not distant, it's ignored. The Stoics did not believe calm was something you achieve after years of practice. They believed calm is always available, right now, but buried under noise. Think of it like this. A lake can be choppy on the surface, waves everywhere. But deep down, the water is still, always still. Your mind is the same. The surface thoughts are choppy, but beneath them, stillness already exists. You don't need to create calm. You need to stop disturbing it. Every unnecessary reaction is a stone thrown into still water. Every deliberate pause is letting the ripples settle. Urgency is almost always fake. Here is a hard truth that most people never realize. The feeling of "I must hurry" is almost never real. Yes, there are true emergencies, fire, accident, danger. But the daily rush, the "I'm already behind" feeling, is manufactured by the mind. Why? Because the mind confuses speed with importance. A thought feels urgent, so you believe it is urgent. But pause for one honest second. Ask yourself, who created this deadline? Who decided I cannot breathe? Most of the time the answer is nobody except you. The world is not rushing you. Your mind is rushing itself. Epictetus on the art of slowing. Epictetus, who was born a slave and became one of history's greatest teachers, said something simple and devastating. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Read that again. Not the event, the reaction. That means a delayed train is not suffering. Suffering is the anger you add. A rude comment is not suffering. Suffering is the replaying in your head for 3 hours. The morning is the perfect time to practice this. Because nothing has happened yet. You are practicing reaction control on a blank slate. The second arrow, your own hand. The Buddha and the Stoics both described the same dangerous pattern. They called it the second arrow. First arrow, something happens. A message you didn't expect. A sound that wakes you. A mistake you made. That arrow is unavoidable. It's life. Second arrow, your reaction. The self-criticism. The worry. The story you tell yourself about how terrible this is. That arrow is optional. And you are the one holding the bow. Most people spend their entire day bleeding from second arrows they shot themselves. Morning Stoicism says put the bow down. Let the first arrow land. Observe it. Then do nothing else. Yesterday is heavy. Put it down. The mind wakes up still wearing yesterday's clothes. Old frustrations. Conversations that ended but never finished in your head. Regrets about what you said or didn't say. And you carry all of that into a new morning before anything new has even happened. This is irrational, but the mind does it automatically unless you stop it. The Stoic morning ritual includes a small but powerful act. Acknowledging what is behind you and then deliberately setting it aside. You don't forget it. You don't pretend it didn't happen. You simply say, that belongs to yesterday, and I am in today. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Yesterday's suffering is imagination now. Let it go." The weight we carry without asking. Imagine you go for a walk with a backpack full of rocks. Each rock is an old worry, a past mistake, an unfinished conversation. You walk slower, your back hurts, you hate the walk, and then you complain that walking is difficult. That is exactly what the mind does every morning. It loads yesterday's rocks onto today's shoulders, and then wonders why life feels heavy. The Stoic practice is simple but not easy. Before you take a single step into the new day, take off the backpack, leave it at the door. The rocks will still be there when you come back, if you choose to pick them up again, but you don't have to carry them right now. Carl Jung, you are not your past. Carl Jung, one of the deepest thinkers of modern times, said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." This is revolutionary for morning practice, because most people wake up defined by yesterday's failures. I messed up. I'm lazy. I always do this. That is not truth. That is habit. You are not your past self. You are the chooser of your next action, and the next action is always fresh, regardless of what came before. The morning is proof. A new day is not a continuation of the old one unless you make it so. Kindness is not weakness, it's strategy. There is a lie that many hardworking people believe, that being harsh with yourself creates discipline. Stop being soft, push harder, criticize every mistake. But look honestly at the results of that approach. Does harshness make you calmer? Does it make you clearer? Or does it make you more anxious, more tired, more reactive? The Stoics understood something subtle. Internal kindness is not indulgence. It is fuel for resilience. When you treat yourself with patience, your mind relaxes. When your mind relaxes, it sees clearly. When it sees clearly, it acts wisely. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "Not for praise, but for practice. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." But even that strictness is not cruelty. It is honest, calm observation. The enemy inside, self-criticism. Notice how often your own inner voice attacks you. You're late again. You're not good enough. You should have done better. That voice is not your friend. That voice is not motivation. That voice is an old program running in the background, and it poisons everything it touches. The Stoic morning is an opportunity to recognize that voice, calm, and refuse to obey it. You don't have to argue with it. You don't have to silence it by force. You simply say, "I hear you, and I choose not to follow you." That one small refusal repeated daily changes everything. Thoughts are not orders. Here is a liberating truth that most people never learn. A thought is not a command. Just because a fear appears in your mind does not mean you must run. Just because a worry arrives does not mean you must solve it immediately. Just because a critical voice speaks does not mean it is correct. Think of your mind as a street. Many people walk down that street. Some are loud, some are angry, some are scared. You do not have to invite them into your house. The Stoic skill is simple. Watch the thoughts walk by. Do not open the door to every knock. The sky and the clouds, an image to keep. Here is an image that Stoics and Buddhists have used for thousands of years. Your mind is the sky. Your thoughts are clouds. Clouds come in all shapes. Dark storm clouds of worry, wispy clouds of distraction, heavy clouds of regret. But no cloud damages the sky. The sky remains, always unharmed. The moment you believe you are the clouds, you suffer. The moment you realize you are the sky, you are free. In the morning, before the day's storms arrive, sit as the sky. Watch the clouds. Do not become them. Awareness over effort. The hidden secret. Many people try to force calm. They say, "I will not be anxious. I will not worry. I will be still." And then they get more anxious because they're failing at being calm. This is a trap. The Stoic way is different. Do not fight the mind. Observe it. Effort creates tension. Awareness creates space. When you simply notice that you are worried, without judging the worry softens by itself. Try it right now in your mind. Notice the last thought you had. Don't push it away. Just look at it. See, it loses its grip immediately. That is awareness, not force, not struggle, just attention. Small actions repeated daily. The Stoics were not dreamers. They were practical. They knew that philosophy without daily action is useless. So they recommended small, concrete morning practices. Before checking your phone, take 3 conscious breaths. While washing your face, pay attention to the sensation of water. While walking to another room, take 1 slow step more than necessary. These sound trivial, but they are not. Each small act is a repetition of self-mastery. Each repetition builds a neural pathway for calm. A warrior does not train for battle by fighting once. He trains with thousands of small drills. Your morning is your drill ground. Marcus Aurelius, power over mind, not events. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who faced wars, plagues, and betrayal, wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. This is the core of Stoic morning practice. You cannot control traffic. You cannot control other people. You cannot control the news. But you can always control one thing: how you interpret what happens, how you respond. Whether you add a second arrow, that single power, small as it seems, is actually complete freedom. Because the only real prison is a reactive mind. He lets go of the ropes that are tangled so he can hold the ones that matter. Letting go is not giving up. One confusion people have about Stoicism: they think letting go means not caring. That is wrong. Letting go means caring wisely. You can care about your work without panicking about it. You can care about a relationship without replaying every conversation. You can care about your health without obsessing over every symptom. Letting go means releasing the unnecessary weight so you can act effectively with what remains. A sailor does not let go of the ropes to give up sailing. The morning review, a simple Stoic habit. The Stoics practice something called the morning review. Before the day begins, they would ask themselves a few quiet questions. What do I need to face today? What could disturb my peace? How will I respond instead of react? You don't need a journal. You don't need an app. You just need 60 seconds of honest attention. Try it tomorrow. Sit still. Ask yourself, what is the one thing that could upset me today? Then decide in advance. I will not let it control me. That pre-decision is armor. Reacting versus responding, the crucial difference. A reaction is automatic. It is fast. It is emotional. A response is chosen. It is slower. It is thoughtful. Reaction says, "This is terrible," before thinking. Response says, "Let me see what this actually is." The Stoic morning trains you to shift from reaction to response. How? By practicing pauses. Every time you feel the urge to grab your phone immediately, pause. Every time you feel irritated by a small thing, pause. That pause is the bridge between stimulus and freedom. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastery begins with the pause. Why most people stay trapped. Most people never practice the pause, so they remain slaves to their first impulse. The phone buzzes. They grab it. A thought appears and they chase it. An emotion rises and they act on it. This is not living. This is being pushed around by whatever shows up. The Stoic says, "No, I will not be a puppet of every impulse. I will watch. I will choose. I will act only when my calm self agrees." This is not easy at first, but with morning practice, small, daily, consistent, it becomes your nature. The present is enough, really. We chase contentment like a dog chasing its tail. Once I get this done, then I'll be happy. But once it's done, another thing appears. The Stoics saw this trap clearly. They said, contentment is not a reward at the end of effort. Contentment is a way of seeing the present. Right now, reading these words on, is there anything truly missing? Not in the future, not in the past. Right now, you have breath. You have awareness. You have this moment. That is enough. Not because life is perfect, but because enough is a decision, not a condition. Seneca on happiness in the present. Seneca, the great Stoic writer, said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Read that carefully. He did not say stop planning. He said stop being anxiously dependent. You can plan for tomorrow without ruining today. You can prepare for challenges without creating them in your imagination first. The anxious mind lives in a future that doesn't exist yet, and a past that no longer exists. The Stoic mind lives in the only place life actually happens, now. The noise outside versus the noise inside. We blame the world for our restlessness. My job is stressful. My family is demanding. My phone never stops. But here's the question the Stoics would ask. Is the noise outside making you restless, or is it revealing a restlessness that is already inside? A still lake reflects everything perfectly, even storms. A choppy lake distorts everything, even sunshine. Your morning practice is about calming the lake. Then the outside noise doesn't matter. It comes, it goes. The lake remains still. You are not your thoughts. Repeat this. This is so important that it deserves repetition. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts come and go like weather, but you, as the one who notices the thoughts, remain. If you were your thoughts, who would be watching them? The moment you see this clearly, a great freedom opens. You can have an anxious thought without becoming an anxious person. You can have an angry thought without acting angrily. You can have a sad thought without collapsing into sadness. The morning is when this distinction is easiest to see. Nothing has happened yet, so you can watch the mind without being dragged by it. Habitual hurry, the modern disease. We have trained ourselves to hurry, even when there's nowhere to go. We scroll fast, we eat fast, we talk fast, we think fast, and then we wonder why we feel exhausted by noon. The Stoics lived in a slower world, but they still had to fight hurry. Their solution was deliberate slowness in small things. Walk slower than you need to. Breathe slower than you need to. Speak slower than you feel like speaking. This is not about being lazy. It is about breaking the addiction to speed, because speed without awareness is just chaos. The art of single tasking. Modern life worships multitasking, but multitasking is a myth. You are not doing two things at once. You are switching rapidly between two things, doing both poorly. The Stoic morning is a rebellion against this. Do one thing at a time. Make tea and only make tea. Wash and only wash. Breathe and only breathe. This trains your attention muscle, and attention is the foundation of every other strength. Focus. Calm, resilience, wisdom. A scattered mind is a weak mind. A single-pointed mind is a fortress. Faith in the process, not perfection. One mistake people make. They try Stoicism for 3 days, still feel anxious, and quit. They expected perfection immediately. But the Stoics knew, this is a practice, not a cure. You are watering a seed. It will not become a tree overnight. But every morning you practice awareness, you water it. Every pause you take, you water it. Every reaction you skip, you water it. One day, not suddenly, but gradually, you will realize you are calmer, you are freer, you are stronger. That day comes through small, boring, daily work. That is Stoicism. The world will test you. That's good. Do not wish for an easy day. Wish for the strength to meet whatever comes. The Stoics did not pray for comfort. They prepared for challenge, because a calm sea never made a skilled sailor. A life without difficulty never made a strong mind. So when the morning brings noise, don't complain. Say to yourself, good, today I practice. Today I train. Today I grow. That shift, from victim to student, changes everything. The quiet power of discipline. Discipline sounds harsh to many people. They imagine a soldier shouting orders. But true Stoic discipline is quieter. It is the ability to do what is wise even when you don't feel like it. You don't feel like pausing? Pause anyway. You don't feel like breathing slowly? Do it anyway. You feel like reacting? Wait anyway. That anyway is discipline. And it is the most powerful force in human life. It outlasts motivation. It outlasts emotion. It outlasts every storm. Your morning, your territory. No one else owns your morning. Not your boss. Not your family. Not your phone. The morning is yours, and if you claim it. But most people give it away without realizing. They wake up and immediately hand their attention to the world. The Stoic says no. The first moments are mine. I will decide how my mind starts before the world decides for me. That is not selfish. That is responsible, because a calm mind serves everyone better than a chaotic one. Closing reminder, calm is already here. One last time, because this is the most important thing. Calm is not distant. Calm is not a future reward. Calm is not something you earn after suffering. Calm is already here, right now, in this space between words, in this breath you are taking. You don't need to chase it, you just need to stop disturbing it. Every unnecessary thought you drop, every reaction you skip, every pause you take, that is not loss, that is return. You are returning to what was always there. Final words, take this with you. Thank you for staying with this reflection. You have already done more than most people do all year. You have stopped. You have listened. You have practiced. Now take this stillness into your day, not as a burden, but as a gift, not as something to protect, but as something to share. When you speak, speak from calm. When you act, act from clarity. When life rushes, remember, you do not have to run. The race is not real. The only real thing is this moment, and your power to meet it with presence. Continue the practice. If this reflection served you, consider watching another, not because you are missing something, but because mastery deepens with repetition. Every time you return to these ideas, you water the seed. And one day, without even noticing, but you will realize, you are not trying to be calm anymore, you are calm.